Good morning, you guys. We're gonna read The Veld next, which is a story that I love by one of my favorite authors, Ray Bradbury. Before we read, I wanted to share him with you. So we're not gonna watch this whole thing, but I wanted y'all to see him. So this is an interview. Is it going? Why is that? Oh, okay, yeah, it's going. So this is an interview with Ray Bradbury.
What's up with the cat now? Okay, all right.
How cute is he?
Put the books. Okay, we gotta go that way. Okay, all right. Forgot to introduce yourself a second time. Well, can't you? Wonderful stories like Beauty and the Beast and Jack and the Beanstalk. So I began with fantasy, and by the time I was 3 years old, I saw my first movie, and I fell in love with the motion pictures. I saw The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I hoped to grow up to be a hunchback. And then, when I was 5, I saw The Phantom of the Opera with Lon Chaney. I became infatuated with Lon Chaney, and when I was 6, I saw a film on dinosaurs, and dinosaurs filled my life. And by the age of 6, I began to read about dinosaurs, and they affected my whole life and wound up with me getting the work on Moby Dick when I was 33 years old because I fell in love with dinosaurs when I was 6. So you see how these things work out. A thing that begins when you're 3 and 6 and 10 and 12 wind up in your fictions when you're in your 30s. The things that you do should be things that you love, and things that you love should be things that you do.
Listen to him.
I was 7 years old when I went to the library for the first time, and that was a great adventure. But along the way, when I was 6 years old, I traveled from Illinois out to Tucson, Arizona. As I traveled with my family, the first thing I did when I jumped out of the car at night to go to a motel to sleep, I ran to the library, accompanied by October leaves blowing with me all along the way. And I was hoping to find books about the Land of Oz by L. Frank Baum and Tarzan by Edgar Rice Burroughs, or if they had books on magic. And I'd open the door of the library and I'd look in, and all those people were waiting for me in there. You see, libraries is people. It's not books. People are waiting in there. Thousands of people who wrote the books. So it's much more personal than just the book. So when you open a book, the person pops out and becomes you. You look at Charles Dickens, and you are Charles Dickens, and he is you. So you go in the library, and you pull a book off the shelf, and you open it, and what are you looking for? A mirror. All of a sudden, a mirror is there, and you see yourself, but your name is Charles Dickens. That's what a library is. Or the book is Shakespeare. And so you become William Shakespeare, or you become Emily Dickinson, or Robert Frost, or all the great poets. So you find the author who can lead you through the dark. And Shakespeare started me there, and Hamlet started me there, and Richard III, and Emily Dickinson led the way for me. And Edgar Allan Poe said, "This way, here's the light." So you go into the library and discover yourself. My greatest influences are John Steinbeck. I read The Grapes of Wrath when I was 19 years old. And when I wrote The Martian Chronicles, I needed a structure for it. I didn't realize that I went to The Grapes of Wrath. I learned how to structure a novel. And The Martian Chronicles is completely the structure of The Grapes of Wrath. So John Steinbeck wound up as my skeleton. Long at night when I was 12 years old, and I looked at the planet Mars, and I said, "Take me home." And the planet Mars took me home. I never came back. The important thing is this. When I got out of high school, we had no money. I couldn't go to college. And the greatest thing happened is I went to the library. The library educates, teachers inspire, But libraries fulfill you. I got a job selling newspapers on a street corner. I made $10 a week. And every morning I got up and I wrote stories. And in the evening I went to the library. And I expressed myself when I was 19 about my loves of life. And I put it into my books. And that's the secret of my life. Thank God I went my way and not the way other people told me to go. It's your ideas that count, and a library can help you with your ideas, because all these great teachers, all these great writers are teaching you when you sit in the middle of a library and let them radiate upon you.
So I'm going to pause and I'm going to ask that you kind of just reflect for a second. What did he say that kind of stood out to you? I know you might hear me say sometimes when you're in a conversation with an author, it's because when someone writes something and they publish it and share it, they are essentially giving you a piece of them, and they're communicating with you. So he said a lot of powerful things there in that 6 minutes that he spoke. So I kind of want you to just think, what can books do for you? I know for me, growing up, we didn't have a lot either, for sure. We did not have a lot. Anyways, books were my outlet. I didn't really get along with when I was younger, because me and my siblings are like way apart. My brother's 9 years older than me. My sister's 5 years older than me. So I was kind of the loner in the house. And I also was really aware as a young child. So I would always kind of look at everybody else's problems and make them my own and try to fix everybody's world. That was me. And it was really stressful and it was a lot of pressure. I used books as my outlet. And so there's authors like Ray Bradbury and so many others that really allowed me a way out. So we didn't take a whole lot of vacations growing up. We took a few, but we didn't take many. Books were my vacation, right? Books were I could go anywhere and I could be anything and I could do anything. And it helped me to learn so much. I hope that books do that for y'all. But either way, he said a lot, and I just want you to kind of reflect and then share, if you will, on the next slide over, one key takeaway that Mr. Ray Bradbury said.